Thank you, listeners, for joining us for today's Wellness Wednesday. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we have perfect guests in studio to talk about that today. For our Wellness Wednesday segments, we have Vicki LaVersa. She's the Eastern Nevada Behavioral Health Operations Coordinator, alongside Marianne McKown, who's Outreach and Partnership Development Coordinator with Vitality Unlimited Program Services. Welcome, women. It's great to sit across from you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So we will dive right in. We'll start with you, Marianne, and since you're reminding us of all the different ways that Vitality comes to a person or a family who is in need.
Well, I just want to let the listeners out there know, for those that don't know, and a reminder for those who have heard about it, Vitality Integrated Programs has a mobile therapy van that can go anywhere in Elko County for appointments. And we will be in Carlin from 11 a.m. until 1 on May 22nd. So this month we're going to be at Carlin. That's going to be the Carlin Senior Center. And I just really want to emphasize that if you can't get into Elko, if you just don't feel comfortable going into a clinic, or, you know, if you're homebound or it's just difficult, give us a call. You know, if you become our client, we can go for appointments anywhere in Elko County. And to do that, all you have to do is call 775-777-8477.
Perfect. Thank you, Marianne. We will be talking more throughout this program today about the significance of the mobile therapy van. Its outreach is literally helping hundreds of people throughout northeastern Nevada. And now with you, Vicki, obviously among the work that you're doing, and we appreciate it, you are helping to destigmatize mental health so that we can encourage more people to seek it.
Absolutely. We're really coming into a new age of mental health awareness, and with the understanding that everybody at some level either knows someone or experiences issues themselves. And we really want to erase that stigma in the sense of allowing people really to get the help that they need in order to be able to really kind of actualize and be the best person that they can be. And then also to address, how do we support our families and our loved ones should they experience mental health issues? And so we've come a long way. We still have a long way to go, but we certainly are moving forward in that area, and Vitality Unlimited is really on the forefront of that movement and establishing wellness throughout the community.
Well, thank you, Vicki, for reminding us again that it is achievable. It can be a once-in-a-lifetime occurrence. It could be something that's ongoing, right?
Absolutely. There are times where it is a chronic illness, and people may struggle. Medications may change. We're coming a long way in how we treat mental health and making just such advances with medications and things like that. Or it could be a situational. It could be the passing of a loved one, or a loss of a job, or a return to symptoms, or a relapse in behavior and mental health or substance uses, and so it can be either, and we're there to address all of them.
Thank you, Vicki. When we come back with today's Wellness Wednesday, we'll be talking more about self-care and wellness and access to local mental health services. Vitality Unlimited Program Services, the VIPs, located on the Bluffs Avenue above Walmart, 775-777-8477. Thank you for joining us for Wellness Wednesday. It's brought to you by Vitality Unlimited Program Services. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, but as we're talking to our local healthcare professionals, we really want to emphasize that every month, every day of every year is Mental Health Awareness Day. And Marianne McKown's here with Outreach and Partnership and Development. Vicki LaVersa is our Eastern Nevada Behavioral Health Coordinator. And Vicki, will pick up our conversation with you and again talking about self-care, the practices that can best support mental well-being.
Absolutely. I think that a lot of times people struggle with saying they may not have the money to do what they want to do, and understandably there are some things that are cost prohibitive. But when we get down to just really basic self-care, we can talk about, the favorite bath that we like, with the favorite soaps or our favorite meal, and we can certainly go and purchase something that really starts at really the fundamental level of how do we take care of ourselves physically and being able to do those things. But it can be as simple as getting your nails done and getting your hair done and meeting with friends that you haven't met with, or making that phone call to a loved one, that can make all the difference in the world. And one of the things with mental health is it really thrives in silence. And so people tend to isolate themselves. And so being able to reach out to a loved one or family member makes all the difference in the world. And so those are the things, really basics, maybe coloring if you like coloring, or doing puzzles, or something very simple. It doesn't have to be extravagant to really focus on yourself, getting the rest that you need, eating well, taking care of yourself really can come at a basic level and can be really helpful.
And we're hearing, Vicki, this is so encouraging that more young people are choosing to avoid alcohol, just in social settings and just in general. And that's part of well-being and awareness.
Absolutely. We know that alcohol and the substance use really thrived in COVID, and isolation and secrecy, and we were all knocked for a loop in regards to that. And now, certainly as we are coming out and returning to a thriving community, we're able to, that's wonderful news to hear. I heard a recent statistic that 75% of people recover from substance use. And I thought, wow, how wonderful that is.
We should focus on that.
Absolutely. And that it's a disease that relapses. It's not the individual. And so I think it's really kind of interesting in moving through that and repositioning how we look at that. And yes, basic self-care really can be so inexpensive, or it can be really extravagant. We just want you to practice it.
Oh, Vicki, thank you. Vicki LaVersa, and she is with our Vitality Unlimited program services, kind of finding the things that spark joy in your life. And if you're the caregiver, the person that's always thinking of others, maybe think of a way to reflect some of that care back on yourself, because that's always a good start as well. So when we come back with Wellness Wednesday today with our very special guest encouraging us to care for ourselves, we're going to talk more about access to mental health services from right here in our community, whether it's a one-time or you need some ongoing support for you, a loved one, someone you care about, when Wellness Wednesday continues. Thank you for listening to Wellness Wednesday with our guest today, Vicki LaVersa and Marianne McKown from Vitality Unlimited program services in our community. So Marianne, when we started our conversation today, we want to remind people that if you can't get out of the house, and sometimes mental illness is actually physically, mentally crippling, there is outreach, there is help available to come to your doorstep.
Yes, our Vitality Integrated programs, we have our mobile therapy van, and basically we have targeted case managers and peer support specialists. Well, it's peer recovery support specialists. And basically they can come to the home, they can do a home visit. They've been doing it even before we had our mobile therapy van, but we used to be basically relegated to Elko City, and now we can stretch out into throughout Elko County, which I think is a wonderful thing. We've done some appointments in Carlin, we've done some appointments in Wells, and it's wonderful because the people even said, they said it's so difficult to get from Wells to Elko for them, and they were able to get their therapy appointments or their counseling appointments. And I just think it's very helpful. It's great that our company is able to do that and reach out into the community.
Yeah, that seems to be certainly the model for other entities throughout America, and especially rural communities. So, Marianne, when it comes to the intake, what's that like? If you could walk us through just a little bit, because we know some people are nervous about it.
Well, one of the things I always want to remind people, it's not like just going to the doctor's office where you fill out a little bit of paperwork and then you see the doctor. We have to do an assessment because mental health issues or substance use disorder treatment, we need to do an assessment, which is a bunch of paperwork that you fill out, and then that has to go to an assessor. Then there's an assessment review. But while you're waiting on that, you sometimes are engaged by the targeted case managers, the peer support, but it's a necessary process so that we know that you're getting the care that you need.
And the best news is that you have people who care for you already there by your side, walking you through it.
Absolutely. And if anybody has a crisis and needs to see a therapist right away, basically we stop what we're doing and we make sure we find a therapist. The other day, I was answering phones. I am not a clinician. I am not trained for any of that stuff, but I have been trained on handling a crisis call. We had a crisis call. The person who needed help was speaking in Spanish. I was able to contact our therapists that are in our Reno clinic, and they were able to call the person directly, so they didn't have to call a bunch of million numbers, and that person got the help that they needed.
Well, that's fantastic news, Marianne. Thank you for sharing that with us. Locally, you can call 775-777-8477 for the VIPs. 988 is the 24-hour emergency nationwide number, and that does connect you with local resources. Wellness Wednesday continues here, and we'll be back and talk more with our friends in studio from Vitality Unlimited Program Services. The VIPs, 775-777-8477. You're listening to Wellness Wednesday, and today's edition with the Vitality Unlimited Program Services specialist include Vicki, LaVersa, and Marianne McKown. We're talking about May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and it's a good time to focus and really emphasize the significance of treating even that first twinge of mental illness so that you don't go down a deeper rabbit hole, if you will, and the self-care, what you need to do for yourself and a loved one. In fact, as we visit with Vicki LaVersa, who is actually the Behavioral Health Operations Coordinator for this part of Nevada, access to health care and then supporting loved ones through the process. This really takes kind of a special skill, but anybody can do it when you have the information you need.
Absolutely. I think that, of course, with education comes better decision making. If they're not able to reach out themselves, perhaps being able to reach out for them would be really helpful. But also, people really experience some fear, like, oh, what if I say the wrong thing, or what if I do the wrong thing? And one, I always say, if it comes from the heart, how could it be a wrong thing? Because it's still difficult sometimes to adjust and address. And so if it's coming from a good place, I think we're able to really be able to move forward and be able to help those people that perhaps are unable to help themselves at this time.
So as we've talked about the program today, if you get to be the one who determines, am I in crisis? Meaning you ask yourself some questions. Can I go on? Can I continue? Am I picking myself up? Or do I need a shoulder? Or do I need someone to lift me up?
Absolutely. And that's what Vitality Unlimited or the integrated program truly do support and offer, is that peer recovery support specialists. It's the TCMs, the targeted case managers, really allows that person to kind of bounce the information off and get some suggestions that sometimes we just can't see, in ourselves. And I once had a mentor that said, if you rely on your own thinking, you're severely limiting yourself. And we have to reach out and be able to rely on others as well.
Yeah, that is the strength of the community that we've been talking about. And Marianne's been here this whole time, Marianne, and you've seen us grow. You've seen the impact and the power of the mobile therapy van. And I know that's really made you feel good about where we live and what we do.
Absolutely. It's grown through the years of what services are available. Vitality opened up its clinic in 2017. And we've opened up other operations in Carson City, Dayton, and Reno. So just our one company has grown through the years. A lot of people know us as Substance Use Disorder Treatment Facility, Vitality Center. And I would like to remind people that substance use is also a mental health issue. There are about 91, almost 92% of our clients that are in Vitality Center have a co-occurring mental health need as well as a substance use disorder. So it just helps to give people a little different perspective than the person who's drinking alcohol or maybe using a substance. They may be self-medicating. They may have a mental health issue or mental health need that they're not dealing with or haven't dealt with. And if they need help, they can call us.
Peel back the layers and help support the whole family can be. Yes, Vicki's nodding.
And that's why the whole assessment is so very important, because we have to rule out, are we seeing a mental health issue here, or are we seeing a substance use issue? Because so many times the substance use and the mental health mimic each other. And are we seeing a bout of mania, or are we seeing a stimulant on board? And so that is so very important, because they do run neck and neck. There are numerous theories of self-medicating, and so we really have to address those and get into it.
We have several themes today as May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Thanks for listening to Wellness Wednesday.